What is good, everybody? It's your girl OTT from OTTJasmine.com coming to you with another video. It's been a few days since my last one. I've been in transition. I was away from home for a while, but now I'm back home, and it feels good to be back. And I am continuing the Preparing for Greatness series. And today it's Mastering Your Habits, which could be a whole other series on its own. But let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Preparing for Greatness. It boils down to your daily habits. And I've said this before. Write down your vision and read over your vision and live it out and prepare for greatness and place yourself on the God's tutelage. But really, how you do all of this depends on the workflow you have in place, especially if you have a 9 to 5 or you're a freelancer or something. What do you do every day? What effect does it have on your creativity, your productivity? How does it let you rock your genius? Do you feel like you can fully express yourself? Or do you feel like you're cramped into a tiny box and you're afraid to say or do anything that goes against the norm and you're just keeping your head down, trying to pay your bills, go to church and all of that? I'm saying, around here we trying to be great. We trying to work our vision. We working our anointing. We're preparing to be great. We're doing all of that. And that means that we have to figure out the things that make us productive every day. That means when you wake up and it's time to work, you don't go on your phone and you don't go on Instagram and WhatsApp and like, what are people saying? Like, you put your head down, you do some work, and then maybe when you're on a break or something, you can open up your phone, check your social media. Like, I find personally that any day I get sucked into social media before anything else, that day is just like it's not a good day, because my mind is like, what's going on social media? Who's posted something? I want to know what's going on. FOMO, fear of missing out, right? I'm like, I want to know everything, and we don't gotta know everything as soon as it happens, y'all. Unless there's an emergency and you're trying to get people to help you or to rescue you. Other than that, everything else can wait. So you wake up in the morning, you do your devotion, you take your shower, you get breakfast, go to work, or you drive to work. If you work outside of home, if you work at home, you stroll into your home office, and you're like, okay, let's get it done. But if you don't have a structure for your day, time will get away from you, because we all have 24 hours in a day. Some people are crazy productive because they have a workflow. They have certain times of the day that they do stuff. Like it's almost like being back in school, where you have classes at specific times of the day, and you better be in them classes if you're trying to pass that grade. If you have something you can hold on to every day, something that pushes you forward, something that propels you to be creative, to be visionary, to be great, that makes room for your greatness to bloom, that makes room for your genius to grow, that makes room for God to minister to you and be like, this is what I want you to do. Like, your daily devotions are just as important as the time you set aside to create, because what you learn from reading the Bible, what you learn from praying, it finds its way into your work. Like, even if that's not your end goal, you'll raise your head and be like, oh wow, like this verse I read today just popped up in my work, or like what I'm currently praying about just popped up. Like, you find yourself doing things in a way that reflects what you feed your spirit with. So you need to feed your spirit gourmet quality food. Gourmet is like, really fancy food. You need to feed your mind and your spirit gourmet food if you want to be excellent, right? You can't afford to just like read whatever you see or listen to whatever you see, or listen to whatever you hear or watch whatever you see. Like, you need to be focused and intentional, right? I talked about us being intentional with your time, and mastering your habits is a throwback to being intentional with your time, because you decide that, okay, I have 8 hours every day to be productive. What exactly am I doing with those 8 hours? Am I writing? Am I painting? Am I taking photographs? Am I dancing? Am I making videos? Am I making audios? Am I creating a course? Like, what exactly are you doing? What are your goals for that week, that month, that quarter, that year? How are you working towards your bigger goals? Like I told you guys when I wrote down my vision, which was a couple of weeks ago, and I was thinking about it today, like, okay, what I have on there is great, but how do I break it down into daily tasks? Like I woke up today and I had my devotion and I had breakfast and I was like, okay, now what? It's like, now what? Am I going to ride? Am I going to make a video? Like, what am I doing? And I feel like I didn't really have a structure because when I was away from home, I was in a pretty structured environment. And now that I'm back, it's like the day is open before me. And I'm like, I don't want to go back to just wasting hours on social media. I mean, social media can be great, because I'm using it for my videos and it's good to stay in touch with people and to learn stuff. But there are also times it can be a time suck and you just have to be intentional. Like you have to be aware of how many hours you're on social media, unless that is your work. That's what you do. Then, okay, yeah, you have to be online most of the day. But if your work is not directly tied to social media, you have to be careful how many hours you spend on it, just so that your best creative time is not spent like watching cat videos and all of that stuff. I know y'all do that, okay? Because I've done it a couple of times and I'm like, no, this is not how it's going down, baby girl. So it's like you just need to master your habits. You need to realize what your habits are. I remember reading this book called The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. And he was talking about how daily habits influence your life and how what you do every day will show up in the work you produce, will show up in your lifestyle, will show up in your productivity level. And it makes a lot of sense, because if you don't practice, how are you going to get good? It's like learning to play the guitar. If you do not practice, you will not be a good player. It's that simple. If you're an instrumentalist and you don't practice your instrument, you will be a bad instrumentalist. It doesn't matter what natural aptitude you have to practice. And in order to practice, you need to have times of the day set aside just for that thing. Like as a writer, I aim to write 6 days a week. And when I don't write, I'm like, I don't feel good because it's like I have a lot to say and I have to get it out there. So you have to get it out there. You have to be intentional. And you have to be like, okay, these are the things I choose to do every day. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to watch a TED Talk. I'm going to watch a video series. I'm going to listen to a podcast. I'm going to take notes and then figure out how to apply those notes to my daily life. Like taking notes, you're like, okay, I'm learning stuff, but it doesn't do you any good if you just close the notebook and put it up on the shelf somewhere. Like it has to be active. You have to act on it and absorb it into you so that you're not just continuously learning, but you're learning and applying. Because applying is just as important as learning. Sometimes we get into, I want to know what this person says and what that book says and what that podcast says, which is great, but how are you applying what you are reading? How are you applying what you're listening to? How are you applying what you're watching? Like for me, a few days passed because I was thinking about my videos and I was thinking about being intentional with my time. And I was like, this is stuff that I need to do as well. So for me to stay in integrity as I make these videos, I have to take my own advice. I have to live out my own advice. Because it's going to show up in my productivity. It's going to show up in my creativity. And even if you guys don't know if I'm living it out or not, I know and God knows. And I don't want to be one of those people who says one thing and does another. Like I want to walk my talk. Like I'm walking into everything God has for me. I'm claiming everything God has for me. I'm breaking through the stasis. I'm breaking through the numbness to the other side where there is joy and purpose and clarity and love. Like that is where I'm headed. That's my destination, right? And that means that I need to master my daily habits. That means I need to challenge myself because it's not just about telling you guys good stuff, but it's also about paying attention to what I'm saying and challenging myself to follow my own advice so that so that I don't flounder and so that I don't stay stuck and so that I don't feel like I could be doing so much more, but I'm not, because I'm not mastering my habits and because I'm not on top of my game and because my day gets away from me. So, master your habits. Alright? Alright, this is Preparing for Greatness Part 5, Mastering Your Daily Habits. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay blessed. This is OTT from OTTJasmine.com. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like the video, share the video, comment, ask me your questions, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can get notified when new videos drop. And I'll see you guys.